Hi to everyone. In this video, let us discuss zero group elements. So, what are zero group elements? What are those properties? Let us discuss here. So, see here. First, what are zero group elements? Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So these are known as which one? Zero group elements. What are the atomic numbers? Helium 2, neon 10, argon 18, krypton 36, xenon 54, radon 86. These are the atomic numbers of which one? Zero group elements. And here helium is having 1s2 configuration. It is known as which one? Duplet electronic configuration. Except helium, remaining all these elements are having octet configuration. What is octet configuration? Ns2 np6, that is octet configuration. Except helium, all zero group elements are having Ns2 np6, that is octet electronic configuration. Now let us see the different names of these elements. First, as the valency of these elements 0, that zero group element name was given to them. And then due to this octet configuration, they are highly inert to participate in bonding. So they are called which one? Inert gases also. And then another name is also there. They have another name, noble gases. They have what is another name? Means noble gases. And here, except radon, remaining all these noble gases available in our atmospheric air, and their abundance is approximately 1%. So due to the less abundance of these gases in atmospheric air, these are also called as rare gases. So these are also called as which one? Rare gases. And except radon as remaining or available from atmospheric air, these are also called aerogens. And as these are belongs to 8th A of the periodic table, known as 8th A group elements. So like that, zero group elements, 8th A group elements, inert gases, rare gases, aerogens, noble gases. These are the different names for this helium, neon, etc. Okay, then let us see the physical properties of these zero group elements. What are the physical properties? First one is all these are colorless, odorless and tasteless gases. All these are colorless, odorless and tasteless gases. Which one here? Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. And here radon is which one? That is not available in atmospheric air. That is which one? Radioactive element. And that is obtained from the disintegration of which one? Means radium. Disintegration of radium. In the disintegration we can get which one? Radon. So now next another one here, melting and boiling point values increases from helium to which one? Xenon. No need to consider radon, leave that. That melting and boiling point values increases from top to bottom, and that due to what they are having which one? Due to the increase in that weak van der Waal attractions, melting and boiling point values increases. And one important thing here regarding which one? Helium. Helium is having the which one? Least melting point value. What is that? Means 4.2 Kelvin. So this is the melting point of which one here? Helium. Least melting point value. possessed by which one means, sorry, least boiling point value possessed by helium, that is how much means 4.2 Kelvin. And one speciality is there for helium. At 2.2 Kelvin it forms helium 2 compound. So the least boiling point element known in periodic table is helium. What is its boiling point means 4.2 Kelvin. At 2.2 Kelvin, helium forms a new compound, the second type of another compound known as helium 2. And what is its speciality means, this helium 2 is known as fourth state of matter. Generally, we know solid, liquid, gas, these are the three states of matter. But helium 2 is considered as fourth state of matter, because generally when a liquid placed at the top of any one solid surface, that generally flows in downward direction. But helium 2, when present on any that surface, that moves in upward direction, and due to which one low viscosity, helium 2 moves in upward direction. So that's why only it is known as fourth state of matter. Okay, then after that, solubility increases from helium to xenon. Solubility in water increases, and this solubility is due to which one means that dipole induced dipole interaction. Dipole is a water molecule. Induced dipole belongs to which one means noble gases. So like that solubility of noble gases in water is due to dipole dash induced dipole interactions, and that solubility increases from helium to xenon. Okay, then after that, here all these are which one? Monoatomic gases. They exist as monoatomic gases. So these are the some general properties of which one? Zero group elements. Okay, then after that let us see which one here? Chemical properties of zero group elements. So generally zero group elements are highly inert to participate in which one? Bonding. And first, generally they form clathrate compounds. These are also called cage-like compounds. Of course, in this also which one? Except helium and neon, remaining noble gases form this clathrate type of compounds with which one? Urea. Urea is crystallized with that which one? Argon or krypton or xenon, when passed into them, into that which one? Crystallized urea. Those argon, krypton, xenon occupy that interstitial sites, and they form which one? Clathrate or cage-like compounds. These are not a real compounds. No chemical bonds are formed in between urea and that noble gases. And another one here, for the first time noble gas compound was prepared by which one? N. Bartlett. What is that compound means? Xenon hexafluoroplatinate, XePtF6. And what is the inspiration to prepare this compound means? What is the inspiration means? OPTF6, oxyhexafluoroplatinate. So what is the relation between these two compounds? Very simple here. The ionization potential value of xenon is almost all same to that of oxygen. So the scientist felt that if the reaction proceeds with oxygen to give O2PtF6, why it is not with xenon? So immediately he started the experiment just by replacing oxygen with xenon, and successfully he got this compound. So like that, for the first time The noble gas compound prepared is xenon hexafluoroplatinate, and that is by using that which one, oxyhexafluoroplatinate. Okay, now why the remaining noble gases are not able to form compounds much? See here, what are the reasons? For example, if we consider the helium, it is having high ionization potential and absence of vacant d orbitals. No vacant d orbitals are present in which one, helium. That too, this is having which one, high ionization potential. And of course neon, argon, these are having vacant d orbitals, but due to the high ionization potential, these two also could not to form which one, that compounds. And the remaining is which one here, if you consider radon, as it is a radioactive element, that may not be considered for bonding, chemical bonding purpose here. And the remaining two compounds, krypton and xenon, in that more favorable factors for the formation of compounds is for which one, means xenon. So xenon is having higher atomic size, smaller ionization potential, and vacant d orbitals are available. So due to these three reasons, xenon is able to form compounds. That too with which one? Only with fluorine and oxygen. We get one question. What is that? Why xenon only form the compound, means we have to tell those reasons. Larger atomic size, smaller ionization potential, presence of vacant d orbitals. But why xenon form compounds only with fluorine and oxygen, means we have to give answers in which way. What are that answers? Means due to the high electronegativity of fluorine and also due to high electronegativity of oxygen, these two only can combine with which one, means xenon. So like that, xenon give compounds chemically by reacting with which one, means fluorine and oxygen. Now compounds of xenon are three types. One is fluorides, second one oxides, and third one is oxyfluorides. Let us see first fluorides. Xenon give three type of fluorides: xenon difluoride, xenon tetrafluoride, xenon hexafluoride. Three type of fluorides are given by which one? Xenon. Okay, let us see the preparation methods and some other hybridization structure, etc. here. First let us see xenon and fluorine here. Xenon plus fluorine when treated in 2:1 ratio, what we can get here, means xenon difluoride. And here xenon and fluorine when treated in 1:5 ratio, we can get xenon tetrafluoride. And xenon and fluorine when treated in 1:20 ratio, we get which one, means xenon hexafluoride. So xenon hexafluoride is obtained from this reaction. Okay, now let us see the hybridization. As per our hybridization rule, xenon group number is how much? 8. 8 plus number of monovalent atoms 2. So 8 plus 2 by 2 means we can get which one? 5. So number of hybrid orbitals, how many, means 5. So it is having sp3d hybridization, and 5 hybrid orbitals are formed, but only 2 counter atoms are bonded to xenon. That means how many lone pair of electrons? 5 minus 2, you can do like that. So 3 lone pair of electrons, and by having 3 lone pair of electrons and here 2 fluorine atoms are bonded to xenon, so it is having linear geometry. What is that geometry? Means linear. Okay, now it is having three lone pair of electrons. Now come to xenon tetrafluoride. Count the number of hybrid orbitals here. Xenon group number 8. Number of monovalent atoms 4 by 2. That means we can get 6. 6 hybrid orbitals means that is which one? sp3d2 hybridization. And here 6 hybrid orbitals, 4 counter atoms are bonded to xenon. So 6 minus 4. How many lone pair of electrons are there? Means 2 lone pair of electrons. And xenon tetrafluoride is having square planar geometry. One lone pair above the plane, one lone pair bottom to, that means below to the plane. Okay, now let us see that xenon hexafluoride. Here also group number 8, number of monovalent atoms 6, 8 plus 6 by 2 means 7. So what we can get? Hybridization, sp3d3 hybridization. Total 7 hybrid orbitals, 6 counter atoms are bonded. So 7 minus 6 means 1 lone pair is there, and due to the presence of 1 lone pair of electrons, xenon hexafluoride is having distorted octahedral structure. That is having distorted octahedral structure and 1 lone pair of electrons present in xenon hexafluoride. Okay, now let us see that boiling point order here. Xenon difluoride greater than xenon tetrafluoride greater than xenon hexafluoride. So xenon difluoride is which one here? That is colorless crystalline, colorless one. Xenon tetrafluoride is crystalline solid. Xenon tetrafluoride is which one? Means crystalline solid. And xenon hexafluoride also exists as a crystalline solid, but in vapor state that is having which one? Greenish yellow color. So these are the some general properties of hexafluorides. And then here xenon fluorides also participate in some chemical reactions. Now they can react with which one here? Fluoride ion donors and fluoride ion acceptors. So xenon tetrafluoride when treated with SbF5 antimony. So now here what we can get? This is which one? Fluoride ion acceptor. So when xenon tetrafluoride react with fluoride ion acceptor, it forms cationic species. So by losing one fluoride ion to SbF5, we get XeF3 plus SbF6 minus. So like that, by reacting with fluoride ion acceptor, they form which one? Cationic species. And they react with fluoride ion donors also. So for example here we can consider Kf. What we can get now? K plus XeF7 minus. So when they react with fluoride ion donors, they can form which one? Anionic species. So these are which one? Reactions with fluoride ion acceptors and fluoride ion donors. Okay, then they undergo hydrolysis reactions also. The xenon difluoride, tetrafluoride undergo hydrolysis reactions also. So xenon difluoride when subjected to hydrolysis, what are the products we get here? Means xenon plus HFO plus oxygen. These are the products we can get on hydrolysis of which one? Xenon difluoride. And xenon tetrafluoride and xenon hexafluoride on complete hydrolysis produces which one? XeO3. On complete hydrolysis they produces XeO3. And when they subjected to partial hydrolysis, they give which one? Oxyfluorides, XeOF4, XeO2F2. Like that they give which one? Means here oxyfluorides. So these are the hydrolysis reactions of which one? That xenon fluorides. Okay, now let us see the xenon trioxide, oxides of xenon. So two types of oxides of xenon are there. One is XeO3, another one XeO4. In XeO3, xenon undergoes sp3 hybridization, and due to the presence of one lone pair of electron, xenon trioxide is having pyramidal geometry and it is highly explosive. And xenon tetroxide, here also xenon undergoes sp3 hybridization, and here this is having tetrahedral geometry. Xenon tetroxide is having which one? Means tetrahedral geometry. Okay, now let us see the remaining two components here. XeOF4. Let us calculate number of hybrid orbitals. Xenon 8th group, so 8 plus, it is not monovalent. Monovalent only fluorine, so 8 plus 4 by 2 means we can get 6. So now XeOF4 is having which one? Means sp3d2 hybridization. But here only 5 counter atoms are there. That means XeOF4 is having one lone pair of electron and it is having square pyramidal geometry. And now let us see XeO2F2. Number of hybrid orbitals 8 plus monovalent 2 by 2, so 5. So it is having sp3d hybridization and it is also having one lone pair of electron. Because 5 hybrid orbitals, only 4 counter atoms are bonded to xenon. So it is also having which one? One lone pair of electron. So these are the hybridizations and structures of that which one? Xenon oxides and oxyfluorides. And uses also important here. What are the uses of zero group elements? So that helium especially used in which one? Means for asthma patients. What is that mixture? Means 20% of oxygen, 80% of helium by volume. That mixture is used for the treatment of asthma patients. And also helium is used as a cryogenic liquid to provide low temperatures. And another one, helium is used to fill which one? Meteorological balloons and aeroplane tires. So these are the different uses of which one? Helium. And come to the neon. So neon is used to fill in which one? Advertisement lamps, because that can produce different colors. And argon, it is used to provide inert atmosphere in metallurgy, and also to fill which one? Electrical bulbs to provide inert atmosphere. These are the uses of argon. Okay, then if you come to which one here? That krypton. Krypton 85 isotope is used to measure the thickness of the steel. Thickness of steel, if you want to measure, we can use krypton 85 isotope. And liquid xenon is used in flashlight photography, and radon is used in radiotherapy. So these are the uses of which one? That zero group elements. So with the zero group elements completed. Okay, bye.